So let's hop right into this because we all know what's what. This is episode 3 of season 8 of the Game of Thrones, the Holy Jesus episode. This episode of the Game of Thrones, let me start with the good stuff. Because there were good elements to the episode, like, don't get me wrong. The visuals, I think, were very good. Afterwards, like when you watch on HBO, when it first aired, it was grainy. As far as I understand, it was because of the darkness element of the show and the lighting. And okay, fine. But afterwards, it looks pretty damn good. I like seeing the Dothraki swords light up on fire because of Melisandre. I like seeing the crazy ice wave blizzard thing and then seeing the dragons breathe their fire as the ice wave is inbound from the Night King. That was pretty good. Viserion and Jon, pretty good. Like, there were some very nice, visually appealing scenes. When it comes to Arya and the whole stealth thing in the library, that I thought was fairly good because it to me made sense. It was like, yeah, her character can kind of do that now. Her sneaking in and out of the library and her kind of avoiding the gaze of the whites. That was good. I thought it was all very well done. Jon and the Night King, when it came to their little confrontation, I thought that was fairly interesting too. Like, it was interesting, it was all well and good, but there are very few good parts of this episode, in all honesty. Now, we'll get to the big thing at the end, trust me. But before we get to the big thing at the end, let's start with everything else. First and foremost, the Dothraki soldiers going in there. I guess because they're Dothraki, because they don't necessarily wait, I would say. Like, they don't plan, they just scream, "Arr!" and then they just go. And they kill and they slaughter. So, okay, fine, they do their thing. But God, that was dumb. Like, I respect it on one front because it's the Dothraki. But on the other front, it's like, they had no idea. They ran into the darkness and they got throttled. Now, it made for a really cool scene where you see the lights of their sword pretty much go off one by one by one. But at the same time, God, that was dumb. Wow. Because it only wound up adding more corpses to the army of the dead. So, I mean, maybe they were able to equalize. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Dothraki, even though they're known for just being this indomitable force, no, I understand it, kind of, but my God. Then, you have the casualties, which were shockingly minimum for this episode. Grey Worm is alive. Grey Worm lives. How? I cannot, bro. Like, when you have the whites, they're finally inside the castle. All right, they're in Winterfell. You have all of these mounds of white corpses. Samwell is... I love Samwell Tully. I love Samwell. Sam should have died. Sam should have died, man. Come on. I'm a fat guy too. I know. Listen, when it comes to a zombie apocalypse situation, we fat dudes are going out fairly quickly. It is what it is. Sam, I love you, buddy, but no, you should have died. Tormund doing his thing. He has like a mound of corpses. Like, he's literally on a mound of corpses. I'm like, dude, what the... Grey Worm was spinning to win. I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe it's the shield. I don't know. But Grey Worm is alive. That stunned me. And he had like the biggest mound of corpses. Jaime and Brienne combined. And they had a fairly nice body count. Theon had a fairly nice body count. Tormund had a huge body count. But nobody's body count was bigger than Grey Worm's. It was stupid. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is Grey Worm beastly right now? He's just spinning. I'm like, my God. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it, bro. Wow. Okay, whatever. Whatever. But the body count should have been much, much more. Grey Worm should have died. Samwell should have died. Tormund, loved that dude, should have died. Even when the crypts underneath open and you have the dead Starks of old, they are active now because of the Night King. No one of significant dies in the crypts. Miss Sunday, no. Varys, no. Sansa, no. I mean, this is the White Walkers. This is the, I'm sorry. This is the Whites. The next issue, aside from the body count, is the White Walkers. Like the Night King's top dudes, his generals, his advisors, whatever, they do nothing. What? Okay, fine, like they don't advise the Night King. He just does Night King stuff. All right, fine. What? I forgot too, Melisandre dies as well. But at the same time, Melisandre's whole character in this episode, the next issue I have, she's just way too convenient. She's just way too convenient. Like the swords on fire for the Dothraki. Here, I'm gonna cast a spell over the trenches. The Night King was clean with the blizzard, but in comes Melisandre, all right? Almost like a Mary Sue, just floats on by, lights it on fire. And honestly, I thought that in the process, to help Melisandre light it on fire, Grey Worm was gonna die there. That's what I thought. No! Like, Grey Worm should have died. Okay, basically, he should have died. I don't understand why the White Walkers, getting back to the other point, I don't understand why they didn't do anything. They literally did nothing. It was just the Whites. They charge. When it comes to the fire, Melisandre, they make a corpse pile to climb over the corpse pile. But the actual strong, aside from the Night King itself, the Vegetas of the Army of the Dead do nothing. It's just the Krillings. It's like, what? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. I'm sorry. All right, we don't see them for the entirety of the episode until like the beginning and the end. Ridiculous. Then the next issue, Bran. What? He warged into crows just to do what? Just to see where the Night King was, basically. So he does the thing where he commands the Whites to make the corpse pile over the fire. All right, fine. All right, but what does Bran actually do? He wargs into some crows and then just chills. He just chills. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. There are no crows or ravens to assist them. No, to try and thwart the Whites and the White. No. He just chills. God, Bran, I don't know. Like, Bran's character has been funky for the past 2 seasons. Very funky. But this episode took it to a whole new level of just stupid. No, I'm sorry. Not a fan of it. I hated it. It was bad. And at the end of the day, one of the biggest issues is you see who takes out the Night King, all right? Arya Stark. She comes in there with her Valyrian steel dagger, boom, stabs him, all right? Nice play. In quotes, nice play. For some reason, the White Walkers, who are on like 5 tiers above the Whites, did not sense Arya Stark coming in there. It's crazy too because the Whites could hear in the library when she was doing her whole stealth thing, which again was good in my personal opinion. I did like that. When the Whites were in the library, they could hear drops of blood. And one of the Whites looks down underneath the table to find Arya, but she's gone by then. But they could hear the drops of blood hitting the floor. They were that sensitive to sound. And yet somehow Arya Stark is able to bypass not only them, but also the top dudes and get in range of the king and kills this guy. What? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And since Arya Stark is the one to kill the Night King, it puts so many characters in an awkward spot. I understand that George R. R. Martin, he likes to subvert expectations and such, okay? That's what they've been doing for a while now. All right, seasons 1 through 4, 1 through 5, they've been doing it for the entire damn series. I get it. But too much Maybe just a bit too much considering the players at hand and who was involved in this. Considering prophecy and so on and so forth, the prince that was promised, Azor Ahai, born among salt and smoke, Targaryen bloodline, all Lightbringer, and he will strike down the darkness with his flaming sword, all that kind of stuff. No? Granted. Some prophecies, of course, don't come true. Like, for example, the whole Stein that mounts the world with the Dothraki, because Daenerys' kid with Khal Drogo, Rhaego, he dies because of Miriam Azdo. So that prophecy ex-nay, Stannis. Melisandre has so many prophecies, it's ridiculous. Because she says, okay, I brought Ice and Fire together. I brought Daenerys and Jon Snow together. And she says he is the prince that is promised, which is aka Azor Ahai. The whole thing with Jon's parents and how, one's Targaryen, one's Stark. Supposedly, Azor Ahai was born of Targaryen bloodline. No, that was apparently wrong. But Melisandre's prophecy on Stannis, that was completely wrong. Clearly, that was very, very wrong. And that cost Stannis his life and his daughter's life and so on and so forth. So prophecies, of course, do wind up being false, obviously. But then on the flip side, others come true. Like, for example, Cersei. Considering how the witch said, hey, you're going to marry the king, which she did marry the king, but she married Robert Baratheon. He would have, 15 or 17 kids, which he did. But now it's Cersei herself, because she would have 3 kids with Jaime, and then her 3 kids wound up dying, which they did. So prophecies do come true in the Game of Thrones. They are real. It puts Arya in a really awkward spot. She was already fairly shaky given her new assassin-based techniques and whatnot. I can admit to that, even though I like the whole, stealth scene in the library. But with that being said, she's in an awkward spot now, because now apparently it was her when it came to Melisandre's prophecy of her killing people with, I think it was brown eyes, green eyes, and blue eyes. Well, the blue-eyed person just so happens to be the freaking Night King. So it puts her in an awkward spot. It puts Jon in a very awkward spot from a character standpoint. So he came back to life, all those prophecies, Prince that was promised, Ice and Fire. No, really? So now his only role is what? To become king? Maybe? God damn. It's just so weird. Jon's existence right now in the story is so weird. Daenerys the same way. There was a vision that she had where all the wizard guys were, essentially. I forgot what it was called, the tower's name. But in this vision she's at King's Landing. She's at where the throne is. She reaches towards the throne and then pulls away. So it would imply that Daenerys gets close to being queen of the 7 realms and so on and so forth, but only close, and doesn't actually sit on the throne itself. Considering how this major prophecy about Azor Ahai and the prince that was promised and Lightbringer among salt and smoke and Targaryen bloodline, how that whole thing was wrong, I guess maybe she will sit on the throne and she will be queen. That's possible as well, because that prophecy, her vision could be wrong. It puts her in an awkward spot. But most of all, it puts the freaking Night King in a very awkward spot as a character.
Hi, how are you?
The whole king caboodle. Remember back in the day, these guys were threatening. They would talk about the long winter and the long night, and how it was so difficult for people to survive back then, and how people would worship these guys as, back over the wall, the wildlings and folks like that, they would worship them as deities. Some people would. And how they come off as so intimidating. And nah. You would think, okay, for, I guess, the White Walkers, for his subordinates, alright, fine. But the Night King himself would be a bit special, considering how he just face-tanked Dragonfire and smiled. No. He can face-tank Dragonfire, but that's fine. That's all well and good, because Valyrian steel, baby. What? The Night King, there's no second wind moment there for the Night King. He doesn't say a single thing, mind you. There's no, nothing. He just shatters. The Night King looks like a scrub. He looks like a freaking scrub. See, now I'm getting mad. Now I'm getting actually mad. Because at the end of the day, the whole thing feels like a giant waste of time. Listen, George R.R. Martin, he doesn't like the whole Lord of the Rings shtick, where these two giant armies, good and evil, clash for the world. In come the Eagles. And this notion that George R. R. Martin has is clearly something that the writers, that the directors of the show, David and Daniel, is clearly something that they themselves take to heart as well when it comes to doing things that people don't expect, subverting your expectations. I can understand that. And I do like it when our expectations are subverted as long as it's executed well. That actually makes sense given the confounds of what is going on. So, Ned dying. That was crazy. When it came to, let's say, Old Martell in the mountain. Wow. The Red Wedding. Wow. Like, very few folks thought that Robb, let alone his entire Robb, Catelyn, his wife, all died in one night. Red Wedding. Betrayed by the Boltons and so on. Subverting expectations. Well done. Very well done. Because I would say those were properly executed. This, with Arya, no. Because at the end of the day, even though they, George, Daniel, David, even though they clearly make strides to move away from that type of Lord of the Rings way of doing things from a storytelling standpoint, what you do get from those type of shows, from those type of movies and stories, is satisfaction. You go through the process of leading up to this glorious battle between good versus evil, and the process itself doesn't feel like a waste of time. The whole thing with Jon and Daenerys and Melisandre and the prophecies upon prophecies upon prophecies and the Night King and the Night King hype, OD, the whole thing feels like a giant waste of time. That's my biggest issue. Characters in awkward spots is not uncommon. It happens all the time in so many stories. But at least the Lord of the Rings movie, you know, the original trilogy, you know that you're not wasting your time. I feel like the whole thing with Jon and Daenerys and the Targaryen bloodline and the dragons feeling a certain way about Jon, and the Night King gets so much hype. He gets so much hype for the entire of the story for a goddamn good reason. Look at his army. They're hauntingly effective. Until episode 3 of season 8, where for some reason the whites, they get like low diffed. They get low diffed by so many cats. Grey Worm. The White Walkers do nothing for some inexplicable reason. He comes in there with a crazy ice blizzard. And you're thinking, whoa, Night King, damn, Night King, baby. And all you need, not even to the face, to the gut. There is no second wind for the Night King. To the gut. I'm sorry. It's no. I get it. Some prophecies are wrong and others are right. I get that. But come on, amongst all of the prophecies that we've gotten, the one about Arya killing some guy with wide blue eyes, that was the one? That was the what? Come on. No, baby, no. What? So many people have tried so many different things to prophesize. Folks thought it was Daenerys. Folks thought it was Jon, and so on and so forth for various reasons. Ice and fire together. And Jon plays no role. Daenerys plays no role. Daenerys, Dracarys, Night King, and then in comes the whites to pounce on the dragon, Drogon. And then Jon gets completely pinned down by Viserion, undead dragon Viserion. And at no point during the entire thing does the Night King even use his sword. His sword is sheathed through the entirety of the episode. I would have rather had Theon. For real. I would have rather had Theon pull a second wind moment, take a dragon glass dagger, stab the Night King in the neck. What is dead may never die. And then I would rather have that. God damn it, bro. I would rather have that than freaking Arya emerge from the darkness like she was a Naruto character, like it was the freaking Speed Force, and she just teleported from the darkness and be the one to, Valyrian steel. It's so bad. It's actually, bro, it's making me mad. It's making me mad. Maybe, listen, I understand. I get it, all right? And then in come the dislikes. All right, fine. I love Arya. I think Arya is a pretty cool character up until like season 5 where it gets shaky. But Arya with the whole assassin thing, I thought was cool from the standpoint of just stealth. I dig the stealth part of Arya. I'm okay with that. I actually, I like it. No. Again, whites could hear the blood dropping, and they checked. White walkers. One white walker turns around. Apparently was too slow to perceive Arya. What? That doesn't make sense. Okay, subvert expectations if you can execute it well. But do not cross the line of wasting my time. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I would say the Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3 is the worst episode of the show by several orders of magnitude. It is a bad episode. And now you know my reasons why. This is crazy. I don't even care about Cersei now. I don't. Like the whole prophecy about her being killed by the Valancourt, maybe her brother Tyrion. Oh my god, no. Jaime. It could be Brienne. Brienne could come in there and just cut her head off. It could be Arya again. Stab. I'm a ninja. Ninpo. Like, I don't care. It could be Podrick. Podrick can shoot a freaking bolt of arrow, right, in a Cersei's chest, and then just kill the bitch. Sir Podrick Payne, yay! Woo! It could be Sir Bronn of the Blackwater. You paid me to kill my friends, but I'm gonna kill you instead. I don't care about fucking. The Night King was so anticlimactic. You know what? I'm gonna stop. Alright, I'm done. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Be easy. Have a nice goddamn day.